Okay,
Okay.
back to the book.
Oh, this is
Do you
so
remember
good.
where we were?
Yeah, so he gave him power over all of the land. Gave him gold chain around his neck.
Oh,
Verse 40,
yeah.
43.
Got him some bling. Good work. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zapnath Paneah.
Zapanath Paneah. Yeah.
Zapnath
You
Paneah.
know what? I wish we had an Egyptian scribe to be able to translate in true dialect form for us.
Oh, I can
But I
find
am
out what
far
jab.
too white for this.
Oh, let's go.
I'm far
Yo.
too European, westernized.
We are all his children, Abby. Japnath. Ha, Paneah meaning. Let's go. We have the
Let's
internet.
see.
God speaks and he lives is
Ooh.
one interpretation.
Cute.
That
Cute,
is
cute.
interesting. Give me one who reveals mysteries,
See, that makes sense why Pharaoh would give him that.
one
right?
to whom secrets are revealed.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zapnath does not admit a quite convincing explanation. The Septuagint and hexapolaric versions, however, differ so widely from the Hebrew in the first half of the name that it may have been disfigured by copyists.
See, I
Whoops.
really think too that it's more of like one of those things where someone's just like someone gets a cat and they're like, I'm gonna name it, I'm gonna name it Fluff. And then 100 years down the line, people are like, what is the
this?
meaning of Fluff? And he's like, I mean, I just gave him, he's just a ruler of the land now and he has a Hebrew name. People probably want to call him by an
this was
Egyptian
an
name.
Egyptian.
So I don't think it was that
Understandable
deep.
etymology.
I really don't think it was that deep. Other than it's probably like, like Dream Reader or something.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
that's a cool name.
It would be cool. Let's say that that's what his name was.
Yeah, okay. And he gave him to wife. Hey!
Yes.
Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On. Ooh, there's a place in Egypt called
Potiphar.
On.
Priest of On.
And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old, all right, when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt.
He was what, 17 when we started?
Yeah, I thought he was younger than that.
I don't remember.
He was
yours
definitely
said a
the
lad,
youngest.
right?
Yeah, he was a lad.
Yeah, mine said 17.
Yeah.
I think, if I remember. But it
That's
could
right.
also
He's
be
a
12.
teenager.
He was a teen, but that's how many years did he sit in prison for and then turned around and then is now at 30? Oh my gosh. Okay, wait, keep reading. It gets good.
Let's go. And in the 7 plenteous years, the earth brought forth by handfuls, and he gathered up all the food of the 7 years, which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities, the food of the field, which was round about every city, laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. This is fascinating for
That's
me.
a lot of corn.
This is, yes, first of all, a lot of corn.
Yeah.
Second of all, each generation kind of fulfills this duty. It reminds me of Abraham going around and making wells for everybody so that they could drink. And then Isaac doing the same. They talk about uncovering wells. And now Joseph, who's clearly the chosen of his 12 brothers, he's the one who's going out. He's going
Can
away
we
from
look
his
back
father's
a little
house.
bit? Can we look back a little
Yeah,
bit too?
tell me.
How Joseph said that he was going to be higher up than all of his brothers.
Oh yeah, he said they're my sheaf, like of corn. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, with which Asenath, the daughter of Potipharah, priest of On, bare unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh. For God, he said, hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim. For God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of plenteousness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the storm of shit began. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. And the famine was over, all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all countries came into Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands.
Keep going.
Chapter 42.
Yes, okay.
Now,
Did you see the chapter title?
whoa. Oh, let's go.
I know. Keep
I'm not
reading.
going to spoil it for you guys.
No, I know.
But some shit's about to go down. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live, and not die. I like living and not dying
I like
as
that
well.
too. I'm here.
And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob,
Joseph's actual full-blooded brother, because that's his mom's last son, right? She died giving birth to him.
yeah, that's right. Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came, and bowed themselves before him with their faces to the earth. Haven't seen him yet. And Joseph saw his brethren. Oh, no.
Did that just hit you what they said that they were doing?
They all bowed to him.
They all bowed to him.
It's the sheaves. The
It's
sheaves
the
of corn,
freaking
and they made
sheaves.
obeisance to him.
And then also the stars. They
Yeah.
were stars as well. And they all bowed to him. Okay, keep
Forward
going.
with their faces to the earth.
Yep.
And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye?
They don't recognize him.
And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dreams which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land. Ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land you are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you, or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely you are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days.
That's a little satisfying, probably.
And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses, but bring your youngest brother unto me. So shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, and that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child? And ye would not hear. Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. Ooh.
Oh, smart
Okay,
boy.
all right.
They're he can't speak Hebrew.
Yeah, he's
But
speaking
let's
Egyptian.
think about that. That's so sick. He learned, obviously he would have had to have learned Egyptian, but
Mm-hmm.
he spoke it so well they didn't even know he didn't speak it.
That's crazy.
That's
yeah, great
awesome.
point.
Yeah.
And he turned himself about from them and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provision for the way. And thus did he unto them. And they laded their asses with corn, with the corn, and departed thence.
Yeah,
I've gotten
they
so
did.
used to. Yeah, dude. Lay that ass with corn. I'm so used to saying asses now. I don't even realize
They
it.
loaded their donkeys with their grain and departed.
They're donkeys. Come on, guys.
Yeah.
And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in the sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them. And they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God has done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told him all that befell unto them, saying, The man, who is the Lord of the land, spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the Lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone, and bring the youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver you your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not, and Simeon is not. And ye will take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. I see how they're interpreting this. They think that he's like buying him. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go. That's pretty hardcore.
Yeah.
My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then you shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave.
Mine also says to Sheol, which is another form of hell.
Oh, Sheol. I've heard about that.
Yeah, but that's kind of like a deep breakdown. That could be a whole freaking conversation, but it's just more like the place where you go when you're angry and bad. He's like, you're gonna send me to hell, basically. Like he's not, it's not like just like a to my grave. He's like, no, not just my grave. He's like, I would rather go to hell, basically.
Damn.
Yeah.
Chapter 43. And the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judah spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. For the last time, damn it. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether you had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us straitly of our state, and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him, of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned the second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take one of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds. I want that stuff.
I know.
And take double money in your hand. Double money. And the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks, carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight.
So I don't know if that money was their money. I think that I'm pretty sure that it was. So I think that it was planted on them because Joseph was trying to call them spies, right? And like thieves, basically. Like you're trying to come and steal what we don't have out of this land. And they're like, no, we just came here for grain. We're not trying to steal. But so I'm pretty sure
them.
I think he's setting them up a little bit. Yeah.
Interesting.
But we'll see. I could be wrong, but that's just
I might
that's just
be
an
wrong.
interpretation at this point. But we're gonna see.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
Take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. What does that say for NIV?
It says the same thing. As for me, if I am bereaved of my children, I am bereaved.
Damn. I think he's going to be bereaved. Oh, hopefully not.
We're gonna see.
Yeah. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand, and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt and stood before Joseph.
Dun, dun.
I like that they skipped the whole journey there.
I know.
And
Thank you.
Yeah. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon.
Slaughter an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slay.
Slaughter an. Yeah, I was like, they slay one of the
slay?
people. No,
One of
slaughter
them
the
but
animal.
just got dressed with makeup and was looking really great. You said slay.
Yeah, go into the house and just slay it.
Okay.
Drag show. Let's
Up
go.
to your interpretation.
No. They were eating a fine feast.
Yes.
They were having. Yes.
And the man did as Joseph bade, and the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house, and they said, because of the money that was returned in our sacks, at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us, and fall upon us, and take us for bondmen and our asses. He
These are
wants our
donkeys.
asses.
They
And
need
they-
them. They're healthy.
They are.
There's a famine.
Yeah, they had a lot of corn. And they came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, there's a thing with like being upon entrances of houses.
Yeah.
So it's just
Yeah,
crazy
it's
shit.
it's
People
very-
standing on the threshold of stuff.
It's very symbolic.
Yeah.
Even in Passover in Exodus, which you're gonna get to coming up here soon. Whenever it's Passover and the Spirit of God goes over all of the houses, they sweep lamb's blood over the threshold of their door.
Yeah,
And
right.
if the Spirit sees the blood at the door front, he passes over their house and doesn't mess with them.
Yeah, and when Abraham was hanging out in the threshold of his tent, he was like sitting in the entrance, and then
Yeah.
the three angels show up.
Also, in marriage, you're supposed to carry your wife through the threshold of the door.
Oh.
Very interesting. Maybe some parallels in here. Maybe
I'm sure it's a
it's something.
taking to the wedding bed kind of thing.
Well, all that I've seen is that they let them walk after they're through the door. It's like, oh, okay, there you go.
Yeah, well, we're a little more civilized now.
yeah.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna look that up.
Yeah, that's
I'm
interesting.
really interested
Yeah.
now. Where are we?
So they've just opened the door. They went up to the steward of Joseph's house and spoke with him at the door. Verse 20.
Thank you so much. And said, "Oh, sir, meet with them at the door of the house." Yes. And said, "Oh, sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other money we have brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell you who put our money in our sacks." And he said, "Peace be to you, fear not. Your God and the God of your father hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money." And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph, came at noon, and they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, "Is your father well? The old man of whom ye spake, is he yet alive?" And they answered, "Thy servant our father is in good health, he is yet alive." And they bowed down their heads and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, "Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me?" And he said, "God be gracious unto thee, my son." And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother. I want the NIV for that.
It says his compassion grew warm for his brother, and he sought a place to weep.
And he sought where to weep, and he entered into his chamber and wept there. Aw.
Because he probably looks just like him, you know?
Yeah, he looks closest to him.
Yeah.
And he washed his face and went out and refrained himself and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians.
Right, because they're higher up.
Right. They're real classist.
I will say, too, that most Jews in Egyptian culture right about now are being used to, like, build Egypt, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. That's some wild shit.
Yeah. Jews have really had it rough the entire time.
Got a real rough deal, huh?
Entire time. Like, they've never caught a break. Yeah.
Jeez. I was going to say Jesus Christ, but that's just too on the nose. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him. But Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. Chapter 44. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth, and put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. Why is he making this drama? And they said unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. Behold the money, which we found in our sacks' mouths, we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die. And we also will be my Lord's bondsmen. And he said, Now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? Wot is another way of saying no. Like you knew not, I wot not.
Yeah, do you not know that a man like me can indeed practice divination?
I can indeed practice divination.
Yeah.
And Judah said, What shall we say unto my Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so, but the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Then Judah came near unto him, and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servants, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, The lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Except your younger brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more. And it came to pass, when we came up to thy servant my father, we told him the words of my lord. And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down. If our younger brother be with us, then we will go down. For we may not see the man's face, except our younger brother be with us. And thy servant my father said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons. And the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. If ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring me down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die, and thy servants shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave. Now he's all caught up.
Yeah.
For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad not be with me? And the lad be not with me, lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father.
Okay,
This
can we
is
talk
insane.
about that? Because
Okay.
this is the brother Israel speaking to Joseph. Not Israel, Judah. This is
Yeah,
Judah
this is
speaking.
Judah.
This is
Yeah.
Judah speaking. Judah is the one who came up with the idea to send Joseph into slavery. So he is telling Joseph, if I don't bring my brother back, my dad is going to, it's going to break my dad's heart. I can't do that. Take me instead. When he was the one who, he did that the first time around. You can see Judah has gotten a little bit more wise with his years and has
Yeah.
grown into his role as
I don't like killing my
protective brother.
brothers anymore.
Yeah.
Well, how
Which
is
is good.
Joseph going to react? Chapter 45. Yo, this is it. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him, and he cried, Cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known unto his brethren. And he wept aloud. And the Egyptians and the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved, nor angry with yourselves, that ye sold me hither. For God did send me before you to preserve life. That's nice. For these 2 years hath the famine been in the land, and yet there are 5 years, in the which there shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. You know, that makes a lot of sense. It's like sacrifice a few years, that's fine. But they sent, it could be said that God has sent the one person who could convince Pharaoh of this, see it coming, and then devise a plan
He devised a plan to
to
not only
save everyone,
Egypt, the entirety of Egypt, but also
his entire family.
his own family put in priority to keep healthy the lineage that's still left to come from this family.
Yeah, right. That's right.
Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep.
So now it was not
all
you.
part of the plan. It's
Yeah, right.
All part of the plan.
This is so what's been fascinating for me about this is seeing the
You can
plan.
yeah. Well, I was going to say this same feeling that you feel of like full freaking circle.
Yeah, it's
right.
very
You can
cathartic.
still talk to an old person on the side of the road and get this same feeling because it is still so active.
You're saying the lives of people.
Everyone, not so these stories don't solely pertain to the Bible. Like these stories of redemption and full circle and everything coming back and these things that you thought were happening for no reason coming back and being like slapping you in the face like this is why this needed to happen. This is why this did this, then this happened that, and all of these things. People still experience that. You like go through a bad something, and then like 5 years later, you realize you needed to have that experience in order to handle another experience so much greater and get something out of it.
Yeah.
You know, and find a reward in your situation. So, yeah, it's just cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely happened in my life where I'm like, oh, I'm glad that this happened because I learned so much of it. As long as I don't have to live it again.
Right. I'm sure he doesn't want to be like, I want to spend 12 more years in prison. Let's go.
So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord over all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me lord of all of Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen, and ye shall haste and bring down my father hither. And he fell upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept, and Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren, and wept upon them, and after that his brethren talked with him. That's nice.
I know.
It's the family reconciliation.
I know. It's so real.
Have you listened to the previous episodes? Because this has been a continuing theme. Like when Laban is chasing Isaac, I think, or no?
I didn't listen to that.
Isaac
episode.
when he's chasing Jacob, and then
right.
they finally come to an agreement.
Yeah.
And then he kisses all of his children and his grandchildren, and then departs. And then there's another one when Jacob meets up with Esau again after years, and he's dreading it and he's freaking out.
Yeah.
Then he wrestles with an angel in the middle of the night. Because they're just passing through after the whole Laban incident, and they meet each other for the first time, and he sends them all this cattle, and then he's like, "Why'd you send me that?" It's like, "Yo, we're bros."
Yeah.
And then they cry and hug each other. And I'm like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
The family stuff gets me. I don't know why.
No, because it's real. It's so real.
Yeah.
And that's what I also love about this is that obviously like Krishna and you know all these people are like the way that the earth is like riding on the back of a turtle. You know what I mean? Like, these are very like abstract concepts. I don't know. I can't.
I would love
you know what I mean?
to be on the back of a giant turtle. I like turtles.
Right, but like also like we know that we're not riding on the back of a giant turtle. Like we know we have space and we have solar systems like satellites that are like we know that. It was.
But what if there's a huge
cute.
turtle that we can't see?
Right, even bigger. Right. Yeah. I don't know about that one.
That would be great though. I think
it is a fun concept.
I think your God would love to have everything be on the back of a turtle anyway. Just to be like, turtle is my idea.
What? They were close.
Yeah.
I liked it.
So close.
They were so close. I liked it though, so I just went ahead and added a little spice to the end.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
This is when Mike and Abby got very off track.
Now?
Do you know about the ice wall?
What, like Ice Age?
No, the ice wall.
They have these things inside the compound that are called happy lights because it's just basically UV lights. They make them sit under or they'll go crazy. For real. For real. So, For real. For real.
Okay, let's see where we're at. Yeah. Okay. We'll round out the chapter.
Yeah.
And the fame thereof was heard in Pharaoh's house, saying, Joseph's brethren are come, and it pleased Pharaoh well, and his servants. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Say unto thy brethren, This do ye, lead your beasts, and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take you wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones and for your wives, and bring your father and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. Wow. Wow, yeah, it's fucking express ticket.
Yeah.
For
He's
this
like,
family.
your clothes, all your things, like, I'll give you better stuff.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about it.
And the children of Israel did so, and Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. I'm used to saying provender now.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, to all of them he gave each man changes of raiment, but to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner, 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses, equality, laden with corn and bread and meat for his father, by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed, and he said unto them, see that ye fall not out by the way.
Do
And
not quarrel on the way.
Yeah,
Don't fight, guys.
fall out.
Yeah, don't fight
ye
on the way,
fall
please.
not out. Fall not out, boy. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan, unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph, which he had said unto them. And when he saw the wagons with Joseph, which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, it is enough. Joseph, my son, is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
beautiful.
With this, we end the reading for today.
Yeah.
Damn. So, what are your thoughts?
Oh, I
this.
love
Give it
this
to me.
story. I love this
You
story.
insisted that you be here to tell
I
the
love
story.
this one. I love Moses' story. There's Esther's story. Literally, there's so many amazing, like, just like groundbreaking stories. Yeah, it's just awesome. And I just love redemption, and I love full circle, and I love turmoil being sanctified or like
Resolved.
cleansed, just like completely utterly forgiven.
This
Everything.
house is clear.
It's just so good. And you know what? Like I was talking about how I was like, I'm sure that probably hurt his feelings hearing him talk about his youngest brother like that. But now after reading it, I really think that like he had to go off and cry because he was just like, finally, like he really didn't care if they treated him poorly. It was more just like, it more so hurts that he felt like they didn't have the capacity to love him. And now
He understands that
he can
they
see
do.
that they do have that capacity, and it makes him happy.
That they regret their actions.
Oh, well, and they did. They said it to him. They're like, well, they lied to him about it. They said that he had died when they know they sold him on. They probably assumed he was dead, probably up until that point.
At this point,
but
yeah.
Yeah, so,
I mean, can't really tell people another story when you've been telling your dad this story for fucking 20 years.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it's just crazy because also in the midst, like that's his origin story, but he has like a middle story where like he lived in Egypt and he was like working his way up and then gets cut down by a lady who cries rape and then
Yeah.
goes to prison for years and years for nothing. But then it has a gift of interpretation and reading dreams and understanding the meaning of the messages that are being like granted to these people that they don't understand themselves, you know? So, and he was able to take that and make something of himself, which is another thing. It's like if he didn't have that, like where would he be? You know, it's like that's a gift that he needed in order to survive.
It put him in the room. Whenever I have to read for an episode, I always have to look at it in the context of
Absolutely.
the rest of the Bible, because that's
Absolutely.
what this experience has been for me. And it's
Yeah.
all still relatively fresh as we go through. So following the plot,
Yes.
Adam and Eve
Yes.
fall.
Yes.
And we get through all these generations till it becomes about generations 1 and 2, but about righteous men, righteous people who, like, starting with not Moses, Noah, starting with Noah, and then we get to Abram and Sarai, and then his sons. We're getting into his son's son Jacob. And I'm thinking, and now Jacob's children, now Joseph. And I'm just like, what is the lesson? And it's always the same lesson, just told a myriad different ways. And
Yeah.
this is just one book. So what's really blowing my mind about this is that because it's a genealogy, it's one lesson that's being told throughout several generations. And it's all the same. The lesson is God has a plan. Don't wrest it from him, because
Yeah.
whatever you do is probably just going to make things worse.
Right.
But also, there's this element of, which was interesting in Joseph's case. He didn't really have a choice, but we're seeing as we get, it's like as each person finishes their life journey, we get to a new stage. It's like a new level. Like you're now at level 8.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and like, so certain things are happening, but it's like with variations, like Galaga, you know?
Yeah.
How it's like now there's 17 squiggly guys and a scorpion guy. Like,
Yeah.
oh, holy shit, you know, it's
Right.
changing. But, and so with him, there's the Abrahamic parallels of leaving your father's house and then finding your own,
Finding your wife.
your wife
Yeah,
and your way
moving on,
outside of the land of Canaan
Yep. Mhm.
and then returning
Extending,
to
yep.
bring wealth. But we're seeing that for Abraham, it was like he was a great rich man in the land,
Yeah.
generally.
Right.
And now they're getting greater and greater and greater. Now Joseph has become basically the Pharaoh
Second right hand of Pharaoh.
of
Yeah.
Egypt. And so we're talking about Egypt and the surrounding land.
And Egypt was a freaking empire. Like
Yeah, so the
diving
whole
into
Fertile
Egypt,
Crescent
like
that we're
seriously,
looking at.
like obviously I've grown up reading this story, and as an adult, obviously I've taken it much deeper than I took it as a child. For real, learning about Egyptian culture, Jesus' lineage stems from pharaohs. You need to study these other cultures. You need to understand them.
Yeah, I think it's pretty
because
necessary.
it is 100% necessary in order to understand the gravity of what is going on. Spoiler alert, Moses is going to be raised as a Pharaoh's son, okay? So to understand Egyptian culture and
saw the Ten Commandments.
lineages of yeah. So understanding
Heston.
how serious they take it,
Yeah.
being what that means for him to have been raised in that culture, has so much of an impact on how you're going to take his story and understand his
that's
reactions.
a really good point, which was leading into what I was trying to say
Yeah.
before, which was that now he's the basically as the Pharaoh, as almost like de facto ruler of an empire. The amount of good he's able to do is huge. It goes from like one guy making a few wells for a few people throughout like a certain area of land, and it's like, okay, everybody can drink and everybody's prosperous and we're good, to saving like an empire
Right.
from famine. And now
Right.
we get to Moses.
Right. It's so intertwined with everything, you know? So it's so important that you're doing that and that you're understanding other contexts and other cultures and other like ways of life and processes of, you know,
Well, the other thing
kingdoms
that I'm
and
trying to do
things and-
is just try to read it as one complete work, because it's clear that it's been written sort of backwards and forwards. Like that the things here are being things in the beginning refer to things that I haven't seen yet, and things at the end, you know, they're tossing it back and forth. If you've
more
seen
so
the
in the end.
infographic,
Yeah, when you get through the Old Testament, the New Testament will mainly refer back to Old Testament things, so you'll know
yeah.
what you're reading about.
There's
but yeah,
that like cross. Somebody made a diagram where it shows everything that is referenced by another passage in the Bible, and it's that
yeah,
crisscross colored like
Oh, I can't
rainbow
imagine.
of references.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's like
probably
this has been
insane.
like, so this is so in its own way, because it's funny because on the face of it, there's like, you take these human moments and it feels almost
Right.
unextraordinary, but then you see the scope of it and like the
Right.
story of these generations and these people and the story of everything that's covered in the Bible. It's basically the closest you can get to being God. Like it's like
Yeah.
you hold all of it in your hand. You hold all of these lives and you hold all of these things, and you just have this omniscient view of it. There's something about this book. There's such wisdom in it, and it was made. It's just the paradox, the paradox of it being so straightforward, and like we're talking
wait
about
to get to Song of
that
Songs.
like Laban
That's
fucking
crazy.
smells
Yeah.
one day, and I hate fucking working in this
Yeah.
field, to like humanity's redemption, and the fact that this can do that. It seems to be the most human book that I've ever read. So that's just that's very fascinating to me.
Yeah.
Its ability to even remain relevant this far along.
Right.
I guess
yeah,
it shows
I agree as well
human
with that.
nature.
Yeah, and how consistent it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. Hey, thanks for going on this small part of the journey with me.
Yes.
Definitely
No,
cleared out
for
a lot.
sure. Yeah,
as we're
we chatted
bringing
for a
Genesis to a
while.
close. Yeah, this is going to be a real bitch to
I
edit.
know. I'm so sorry. If you thought last time was bad, it's like it's so much worse.
No, I'm
now.
gonna get this done for
Oh.
sure. Well, Abby, thank you for being on the Non-Believer Bible Club.
Thank you for
bringing
having
a little
me.
belief.
Bringing a little belief. Yeah, just a little perspective. You know, I like it a lot. I really enjoy it, and a lot of my believer friends even listen to it, so that's interesting
fun.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll
I
be
think it's
excited
cool.
to hear you, huh?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, but I think it's just everyone.
They've met
everyone
me.
that I've talked
They
to
know
that
me.
that are believers already, really respect it. Like they really you go into it fearing that it's gonna be. Is it like sacrilegious? Like what is going on? Like is he? Like, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Are you like poking fun? Is he like, because I'm like,
Well,
oh no,
always, but not in important ways.
No. I was just like, no, he's such a funny guy. He's super witty, like, and he's so
Oh, that's
smart that
nice.
you really do go deep into how I enjoy reading the Bible,
Yeah.
which is
Well, the work merits it. So.
right. I enjoy expository methods of understanding things. So it breaking it down, diving deep, that is important to me, and that's how I choose to read the Bible because. You could sit in a Baptist church and they have a moral that they want to share, and then they pick some verses out and they pop it up, and then they give you a good little sermon, and then you're on your way. But I don't really feel fed that way, you know. And so I really like to the stories in and of themselves are enough to learn about anything. There's so much. How far are you in this book, and how much have you taken away already?
It's pretty wild.
You have so much more to learn and to experience and to go through, and I'm really, really excited for you. Just because, like, I have so many stories in here that I really love, and they mean a lot to me. So you with fresh eyes and never have heard this before, it's just like, ooh, I'm just like, yay, it's so cute. I love it. I love these stories. And I don't think I've never heard of a podcast that also has just sat and read through the Bible either. So, you know, it's a very, very large task you're trying to tackle here. But I appreciate you for doing it. And I think that other people will too. So I think it's going to be good.
That was Abigail Glover and the story of Joseph, all in one short, easy to digest episode. I have to thank Abby again for coming on my show. Me having no real plan to integrate or just read the Bible and blab. So I thank her for her time and her kind words. Definitely going to have some more people on the show. More believers. Maybe some non-believers. But until then, I'll be back next week with a brand new episode, solo style. Hope you all enjoyed. I'll see you next time, my creeping things. Adios.